Hi Libra, it's your metal dog back to give you a reading. I've already pulled some cards in the interest of not taking up too much of your life, figuring things out as we go along. And we'll begin here with a couple of cards from the Queen of the Moon Oracle in order to just kind of get a sense of what's going on here and to sort of set our line of questioning. So the first card you get is release. You get this beautiful image, heart forth, a woman letting go from her heart all of these butterflies. This is about letting go. It's about, even when you have gathered power in the magical sense, that in order for it not to haunt you, for it to be released into the universe to be shared. So perhaps you have something to give from this magical source that is in your heart chakra. And secondly, we get the card here of power under the full moon. This is a very different kind of femininity, a very much more controlled, regal, I would say, sorceress, empress. Again, but in both cases, I see, and reading in the book a little bit, I see that there's something going on here with a kind of magical power that you have to bring out, to let go forth into the universe. And this goes with the advice that you get in the cards that I have drawn in the 7-card spread that I will show you here in a second. But I wanted to read you just a little bit from the description of power here, as it is the underlying energy. It is the bottom card of the oracle deck here. It says, "Step into your true power, shine brightly. Do not hide who and what you are. The time is right to attract big things for yourself. Ancestral energy is important. Open your mind to larger possibilities. Big magic can be wrought." And then, "You are made of the very swirling matter that is the stuff of stars. You are pure possibility, changing constantly, renewing and transforming. Take this moment to recognize that power and rejoice in it, for your next step is the precursor of your future self." And the companion stone is a moonstone, in case you're interested in some way of kind of bringing this power of the full moon to you. So this sort of magical power within you, that is being called. You're being called upon to release this, or to release something. Okay, so I've pulled 7 cards from the Klimt tarot deck. They're very beautiful cards, and Libras, I thought that would be the right deck for you. So the first card we have is your recent past, which is a 5 of Cups. This is regret, grief. This is in the feels, and you can see this figure very serious holding up that mourning mask. I think if we looked into the Greek use of masks, we might find more, but I think sometimes, perhaps in your recent past, Libra, you had a feeling of wearing a mask, and but that these feelings have come forth in the recent past. You have faced them. You're looking right out here, or this figure is looking right out here, with eyes full of truth, truthfulness, honesty. And I see a contrast between her beautiful face and the kind of exaggerated emotion that is on that mask here. So there's some kind of facing of loss here, which is a part of a process of grief. The card before is the 4 of Cups. A person is again kind of caught up in a loss. The next card will be the 6 of Cups. This can be a card about nostalgia. For you, for your present, we actually get a 3 of Pentacles. This is again about creativity, and this could be the magic that you have to bring forth into the world, that you need to release this music. It's usually a card about collaboration, but I see this person solitary playing this music. Very beautiful pentacles produced from that. Maybe you are making a living through this kind of creative work. And again, the Three of Pentacles, it's usually collaborative work. Okay. In the background, and perhaps unbeknownst to you, there is a Two of Swords. And this Two of Swords here, it's a dilemma. It's a decision that needs to be made. But in this image, we also see that there is a kind of eroticism in that indecision. So you can be the kind of person or someone around you, there's an energy in you or around you that you need to become aware of, about being really caught in this state of indecision, and perhaps really getting off on never making a choice. Like that could be a thing for you or someone in your life. You appear in the reading, in the card of Judgment here. So this is a card about ascension. So being called to the next level, the next cycle in your life. 20 is the number, 21 will be the world, and that means you have completed some cycle of your life. So there's a card about a mature, spiritually ascending person. So that's how you appear in this deck. It is a spiritually called person or people in your life appear quite different from you. There we get this staring, kind of obsessing Four of Pentacles figure. This person is usually the Four of Pentacles is about kind of having trouble letting go. So we see this indecision in the background, and this seems to be in kinship with this Four of Pentacles. Somebody who is really watching you, or very watchful in general. Perhaps this is how they survive as a result of some kind of struggle or violence in their past, in their life. It's controlling. It's a controlling person or people. So that is, we'll find out more. We'll pull some more cards to understand that better, and how that person is a part of this story for you. Because you appear to be in this collaborative, creative artist space in the present. And your advice is the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is about a young, new idea and kind of going forth with this creative willpower, this motivation to bring some idea into the world. You're encouraged to do so. So that is your advice. Take this idea and share it, right? You're a person ascending, a mature person, and yet this is a young, kind of creative, playful idea, and you're being encouraged to bring that forth into the world. The release card that we got here, this Oracle card, indicates to you that there needs to be a letting go or a kind of generosity from you, from your magical artist's place, perhaps. Libra's often artists. And the future is the Lovers, which is a kind of partnership where each person brings their best. They do not compromise themselves. They do not need to in this kind of partnership. And the Lovers is also about making a choice. So since we have this in the background, lack of making a choice, this is a different kind of embrace in the Lovers. So there's this, the future is a choice and a kind of harmony that is quite different from this resisting making a choice. And this could be about a relationship, or it could just be about the collaboration that you're currently in. So recent past, some kind of of letting go or loss or grief about it, and taking off that mask and being real about that. Then moving into this, making music kind of creative, collaborative, 3D, making your visions, the ideas in your head, your artistic ideas real in the world. And your advice is in that realm. So it results in a harmonious future with a partner, a lover, a collaborator, moving from the lack of decision to a decision. So let's clarify this a little bit. We'll use the Guardian of the Night deck here to clarify each of these steps here along the way. Okay. So clarifying the Five of Cups. What is this regret, this grief, this sort of feeling from in the recent past that you have moved on from into your Pentacles? Let's see. We'll pull 3 cards. Okay. First, we get a little young Page of Cups. This would be definitely a romantic, flirty, new kind of lover that might have come in your life, or just sort of a new feeling. What else? We get a Knight of Swords, some kind of contrary energy, a knight of out of the feelings, in the intellect here. So the Knight of Swords is a fast energy and is intellectual, honest, truthful, can be angry. Very different energy from the Page of Cups. And finally, we get a Two of Pentacles. This is interesting. It seems like there's some kind of balancing between perhaps these two impulses in you, or two individuals in your life, attempting to find balance and perhaps make a choice, which would explain loss here. A kind of difficult balancing between truth and love in your recent past. Something like that. Two people, two urges. They can be imbalanced, right? We can find this yin and yang harmony, where two aspects of yourself come into harmony. Absolutely. It's interesting, Libra associated with justice, with the scales. The balance is one of your abilities to see things from both sides. It's one of the annoying things about Libras, that if you have an opinion, they'll always take the other side. The devil's advocate. I don't know, is that true? It's been true in my friendships, not with all my Libra friends, but a fairness in your nature. Okay, so in the present we have the devil here, represented by this kind of creepy rabbit, snakes under them. The devil here, the heart between two snakes. And the devil is about addiction. That could be in your present, you'd be dealing with your own addiction, or someone around you has addiction. It's also codependence. It can be self-doubt, not really realizing your worth. So this is a perspective that you may be struggling with here in the present. Secondly, we get strength. So this is really good to have in contrast to this devil. And I can't help but notice the snake here, which we see two snakes appearing in the devil underneath there, right? So we see the snake here with a mouse, predator-prey relationship. Again, the heart in the earth. This heart here is about that unstruck place in us, that place where you know your worth, that place where you do not doubt, where you've never been hurt. And then when we come from that place that has never been hurt, with a full capacity for love, for gentleness, A snake coming from that can be at peace with his natural prey. So this is very much about rising to your highest self. And remember, this is, you appear here as in ascension. So that makes sense that you, as the judgment card, struggling perhaps with the devil, with self-doubt, your heart kind of in this scary place between these two serpents. Of course, serpents also represent the potential to shed your skin, to grow bigger. And so we see this strength snake has risen above its animal nature under the moon here with this mouse coming from the heart. And there's red poppies in this deck to represent that kind of love motivation. Thirdly, in the present, we get a 3 of Swords. So this is a betrayal. The same heart has appeared here 3 times. This one pierced with claws or antlers. Very sharp, painful image of betrayal. You can see chains on the ground here, representing a kind of that state, that emotional state of either betraying or feeling betrayed. And that makes sense to me, that your heart is kind of moving through these stages. It's challenged by self-doubt. It's rising to the occasion, to its highest self, but ultimately the situation is one of heartache. And we see a 3 here. So there might be a kind of situation of 3 people that you're working through. You're in a struggle with your will, your higher self, and your lowest self, the devil, or and there is a betrayal here, whether it's happening to you or you are participating in this betrayal. I see now in the present a kind of sadness as she plays this instrument, which represents her art. But here it feels like an emotional state, perhaps. Yeah, and I kind of see that kind of creepy figure behind her peeking out. Yeah, so this side, it looks actually like you're in you're in a very difficult situation, Libra. It looks like perhaps this, there's a choice that you or someone around you needs to make. Okay, well, let's find out a little bit more about that 2 of Swords, that what I see as a very eroticized decision, or indecision, really. It's that moment in the boxing match when the boxers take hold of each other. They're just so tired. They don't want to fight anymore. I remember as a kid just thinking that was just like the weirdest thing to see these big, giant, sweaty men hugging each other. When you're a kid, you don't get tired like that, nor do you box 12 rounds or whatever it is. Okay, so the 6 of Cups is a part of this underlying influence, or this background noise that you might need to become aware of, because as it is appearing here, it is not something you're aware of. So this is about, excuse me, this is about inner child work. This is about soulmate connection. We can see, again, 2 options. So if we're thinking about choices, we see this sort of youthful sharing of this new love, this Ace of Cups, and then this older, wiser, historical place. So lots of decision. Yeah, and so then in the recent past, I can see you trying to balance this Knight of Swords and this Page of Cups, which I'm going to take a guess that it's you who are playing this. This is your song that you're playing, right? You're involved in juggling 2 people. One is this new love. One is one that you have a history with. there's a soulmate feel somewhere in this. And your advice here is, let's remember, like you're being told you need to release something, so that perhaps this decision lies in making a choice to release one of these people or one of these, either your willpower, here comes the kitty, or your that devil in you, right? To go for that. Okay, what else in the underlying influence? We have reiteration of that past, the Five of Cups here. Something has broken. There are 3 broken cups. There are 2 here. So moving from a 3 situation to a 2 situation. And the moth here in the image talks very much about that devil energy, the way that a moth will beat itself against a moon. Or a light, as if it is a moon. But I think also of fireflies. I'm not from a place with fireflies, but 2 of the bugs here are definitely little fireflies, little lights in the cups. Maybe this is not a moth. Maybe it's actually a firefly. It has a little death's head on it. Let me look, actually, because I have the book right here. So 5 of Cups, let's just see. It's interesting. I haven't seen it yet. The 5 of Cups may point to an upcoming disappointment or loss, as it bears the message that feelings associated with misfortune loom in the darkness. This card may also point to a previous setback, which is in your recent past, right? Or a loss currently consuming space in your heart. As a result, you are not capable of moving on or making room for all that you have in life to appreciate. It is here that you may find yourself stuck in a state of grief. Allow yourself time to process your emotions. Feel anger, feel despair, let sadness have its moment. The 5 of Cups asks that you accept the loss and acknowledge the pain and suffering you feel within. But for balance to be restored, you must let go of what cannot be repaired. Holding on to the past will not help you move forward. It will only create more suffering. And the past is coming up here as in the 6 of Cups, right? So this need to move on from the past in some way. And I can see why, this makes total sense. You're still stuck or not aware that you must make this decision. And finally, we get an Ace of Cups underlying. So this has appeared, as I have pointed out, in this other underlying. Here's the Ace of Cups in the context of the 6 of Cups. It represents that new, but also old love, that divine gift that is a soulmate connection. And so that is in your background. You're being told to let go of something, and there is something new here that you can choose, should you decide to do so. Okay, looking now at you as you appear here in the deck as Judgment. So let's clarify that. I find this to be a very tortured state, actually. I can see why remain in indecision. To me, this judgment, it doesn't look like a comfortable process. Dark night of the soul, that's what I see you in here, my friend. Okay, Libra. Who else are you? You are the sun. Don't forget that. This beautiful panther. The sun is totally joyous, wish fulfillment. The sun is rising on a new day. Completely fulfilled person. Happy, joyous, free. That is you. Or perhaps this is where you are ascending at this moment. You're going through a good, hard time. 6 of Pentacles. Here we have a water buffalo and a bird. A reciprocal relationship between 2 sizes of a bird with 3 pentacles, a water buffalo with 3 pentacles. Sometimes this is about hierarchy and inequality that is expressed through charity. But I don't see that for you here. I see that each beast is comfortable and the right size together, and that they have a symbiotic relationship. So this to me is you and your balancing. There's a lack of balance size wise, but there's a kind of balance that has to do with knowing that each side of you, this bird and this buffalo, are equally beautiful and authentic. And finally, we get a wheel of fortune. Here again, we see the snake, these owls flying off, representing your airiness, Libra. So the wheel of fortune, this is divine timing, luck at play. You are lucky. You're stuck in a divine timing. So in some ways, that is just out of your power. I again see moths here, right? So that can be a feeling. When I see a moth beating itself against my porch light, I turn off the light in hopes that I can release it to find the true moon, right? And since you are being advised to make a choice, or there seems to be a choice in your future, you're being released into your true power is a part of this, and you are certainly ascending, appearing here as the card of judgment. Perhaps in time, not your timing, this will become possible. Okay, so you're quite something, ascending, appearing as the sun, having a balance between two very different aspects of yourself. And perhaps that's referring us again to the Knight of Swords and the Page of Cups, this intellect and this lover, this sort of goofy capybara swimming here with a red bird. So we see another bird, water beast, appearing together under the cherry blossoms in your recent past. So seeking balance. Lucky, ascending, finding balance, I think. Okay, so let's find out about this Four of Cups. Since I'm kind of having you in a story here where perhaps you're involved in a three, it makes sense that one person is watching you. It also looks like an obsessed person, so let's see. Four of Cups. What else? Ace of Swords. True. Honesty. I see the victory laurels. I see this desert blooming flower under the night sky. Bats. The way that bats sense and know through their radar flying through the night. That makes me again think of how this person is just really staring. Perception. And there's some kind of truth as an aim. We get the Magician here for your person or people. The Magician is somebody who has all the tools. They are good at manifesting. They can be manipulative here. Careful of that, if that rings true at all. But in general, the Magician's kind of a cool person to hang around with. And thirdly, Seven of Swords. There is lack of integrity here in this, or somebody who's kind of, again, watchful for your lack of integrity. Somebody's lacking integrity, and somebody else is finding this out. And I even see this Magician here has the paw on the sword. There's a pursuit of truth in this person. it looks like a little bit like an obsessive pursuit of truth. And I'm brought back to this Knight of Swords from your recent past. Yeah. This person's got something going on. It's not an easy person to be around, actually. So if there's somebody in your life, it doesn't have to be your partner. It could be someone at work. I do have the bottom of the deck here is the Hierophant. So this always makes me think it could be like someone you're married to, but in an institutionalized relationship. So it could be work. And it's just too bad when you work at a place where they look at you like this. And they're so suspicious, right? Yeah, I mean, this Seven of Swords, much like the woman in the Four of Pentacles, this gorgeous panther is just seems obsessed with and watchful. Yeah, whoever that is, I feel for them. Okay, yeah. Underlying card here on this clarification is the Five of Swords. Just, again, bad motives somehow here, winning at all costs and not really feeling good about that in the end. So your advice, my friend Libra, is the Knave of Wands, or Page of Wands, this youthful idea, creative, the advice is get it out there. Bring that idea forth. And I'm not sure how it relates to the rest of this reading about a decision between something old and something new. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be a job, creative venture. There's a lot here to suggest because in the present we see her playing an instrument, and in your advice we see a kind of a new creative venture. We don't have to read all of the sort of eroticism and brokenheartedness to be about a romantic relationship. It can be about work. Why would I think it's about work? I would think it's about work because we have the Three of Pentacles in your present. A lot of Cups. It's a work that you feel very emotional about. You're this person or people in your life. They're air people. You're an air person. They're up in ideas, intellect, truth. That's what they're motivated by. But mostly we're seeing Cups, a few Pentacles. That's why I'm kind of leaning towards you are appearing in the Six of Pentacles. That's appearing as a part of you, along with the Sun and the Wheel of Fortune. So just kind of try to be open about what's going on with you. So all I have are these cards to suggest to me. Okay, Knight or Knave of Wands. Further we get the Fool. This is, again, start new. The Fool is, I love this wolf. I think this wolf wants to play with this bunny rabbit and is walking out on the ice. It reminds me of a dog friend of mine. He's a loner, Cody, but he's also, and he wants to play, but he's not really very great at it. Like, he ultimately ends up just, stealing my dog's bone. But he is wanting to play with this rabbit. I want to love him and squeeze him. Anyway, so let's see what else in your advice. Ten of Pentacles. This will be prosperous. This is very much work related. 3D house security. So that might be something that you bear in mind as you make a decision to go forward like this Fool with this new idea. Either you should know that it'll work out. That's a good way to read it, or you should, take into consideration the Pentacles. And this is the card of the Nine of Swords, the Insomniac anxiety card. You can see her motivation, or his, it could be this polar bear's motivation is protecting that little sleepyhead, staying up all night watchful. It's a card of nurturing and protecting as a source of anxiety. But as an advice card, it would be, don't worry so much. Release worry, right? Especially since the advice is the Fool. We got the 10 of Pentacles, security, abundance. So you're being told to take a leap of faith. And don't worry, just leap. Be a knave. Be a young, creative, willful person. And the future is the Lovers. So let's find out about that. I think my cat believes I should be feeding her. So we have a lot of cat in this video, which is wonderful. Okay, your future, Libra. The Lovers. What else do we get? The Hermit. The Hermit here represented by a spider building under the moon. Okay. This is usually just going in for inner reflection, wisdom. Page of Pentacles, another new beginning, young, fun idea, new start in your future. And finally, King of Cups. This is a mature, emotionally mature presence in your future, very good feels. King of Cups is carrying this Ace of Cups, which we saw in your hidden influences, right? Oops. Cards are a little slippery. So we see this as in the background, hidden from you at the moment. And we see this whale. We see this whale bringing that cup up from the sea. There's an austerity to this person. They dive deep and they come up, and the Knight emphasizes that kind of the silence that we associate with the King of Cups. It's not someone that is a big expresser of feelings, but they do have deep feelings that they're conscious of. Okay. So this future, this choice, yeah, and I see the Lovers, so I see that King of Cups in your future, that true mate for you. I also see the creativity of both the octopus and the spider that appear in your future that make me think back to your advice of the Knave of Wands. I also see this juggling, but of choosing this one idea, and doing so through going inward. And of course, both of these creatures are of the sea. This very different kind of creatures. And the Lovers tells us that you're matched, but you're not the same. You don't give up your individuality in order to be together. If it is some kind of romantic partnership that is at the heart of this. All right, well, that is my reading for you, Libra. You have a choice to make. You have the advice to leap out like a fool, to bring your idea to the world. It appears you are currently in a challenging emotional situation. The Three of Swords is not a comfortable place to be. You're invited to honor your feelings and then move on in your story. And there is a King of Cups in your future, as well as a new idea. So I hope this is useful for you. Have a great day.